When it comes to Lil Jeff and his alleged bodies, the rumors and theories tend to range from the absurd, suggesting that he's truly a demon catching all of these bodies, to pretty much complete denial that he ever killed anyone at all. But there's no doubt to me that Jeff was really in these streets though, with several videos circulating on Q50's Instagram years later showing that by 2024, Lil Jeff was indeed a hardened gangster riding around the city, constantly strapped with guns, ready to kill at a moment's notice. However, it would seemingly be a process of several years before he would become the hardened gang member he was known as today. In one of the earliest YouTube videos covering Jeff's alleged bodies, his rumored murder spree stretches all the way back to September 2014, with his first alleged body supposedly being an 18-year-old who went by the name Mally Marl, real name Kamal Burton, who was allegedly affiliated with the A-Tray mob. Although the murder itself would take place in the far south side in the Old Geld Gardens community, at the time Jeff would have barely been a 12-year-old boy, seemingly gifted in basketball. He would have been spending most of his days training for a career in the sport. Also, according to a CPD spokesperson, Marl was approached by two men who then opened fire. The idea of a scrawny 12-year-old Jeff being mistaken for a grown man in this case sounding pretty unlikely. But for further context, even Jeff's own brother Boogie would have still only been 16 years old at the time of Marl's murder, albeit he would arguably always look older than his age. In more time, we'll likely learn much more about Jeff and his younger years as things come out, but when it comes to his deeds in the streets, it's likely much more sensible to take his own account of his childhood seriously. As he would recount in his DJU interview, Jeff would allegedly truly get in the streets quite late in his life, around 2020, this being his last year in high school and graduation.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm gonna say when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
However, this certainly doesn't mean that Jeff's childhood was normal by any of broader society standards, as Jeff would also open up to DJU, saying that his father was not in his life growing up, as he too, quote-unquote, stood on business. This perhaps being a reference to Jeffrey Harris Sr.'s alleged time in the streets with the 068 C block.
Let's say back then he went around.
Says acting weird as shit. It's bogus. It's cool. I'm dope, man. He be doing what he do.
So how did that affect you back then, though? Not having pops around.
OG stood on business, so you know, that shit didn't matter for real.
But moreover, as we know now, Jeff's big brother, Jay Boogie, had clearly been in the streets since at least the early 2010s, which would seemingly affect Jeff's life and his experiences growing up significantly.
And I'm doing that. I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother, so this ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing. Everything I'm doing, I saw already.
One of these significant moments in the young Jeff's life would of course be witnessing the murder of Kenny Mack. Also, another incident that affected Jeff growing up was his family house getting shot up with one of the bullets, according to Jeff, whizzing by right next to his head.
So can you tell us like who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Your older brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he showing you the ropes?
Let me tell you, my crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid ass. The bullet that flew like right past my face. They had shot the back and the front. Then they blew the car and set that on fire. It was busting. I ain't gonna lie, it was going on. That almost hit me, though. See what I'm saying, though? Shit like that play a part. All type of just seeing that shit every day. I was seeing it every day. See what I'm saying? So like everything I was seeing that shit all the time, just like I'm doing right now. It just I'm a part of it now, so it's different.
Now it's
see, that's what the fuck go on in Iraq, folks. Motherfucker don't be asking to be in that shit, folks. This shit just chose you, folks. You ain't got no choice, folks. Folks ain't know what the fuck was going on. He just in the crib. Motherfucker come shoot the crib up, folks. See what I'm saying? This shit different for nigga that's coming from Iraq, folks. This shit for real, folks. No.
It's important to remember that while Jeff would seemingly appear in the drill scene almost out of nowhere, he was always the product of his environment, and that environment being one of the most dangerous in the whole of Chicago during the 2010s and beyond. When it comes to Jeff's time in the streets after 2020, when he supposedly got involved with the Bloodhounds heavy through his brother, there's still no shortage of alleged victims that are commonly or less commonly attributed to his supposed double-digit body count, with even the YouTuber who had originally published one of the first supposed body lists of Jeff spinning back with a new video sometime later, this time including only names post-2020. One of the more obscure names on this list of people that Lil Jeff allegedly took the lives of was an alleged member of the crew Hit Squad by the name of Lil Gutter, real name Ronnie L. Sistruk Jr., who would lose his life in 2021 around the same time when the young Bloodhounds such as Vert and Jeff would allegedly be responsible for the deaths of the A-Tray members Clay and crew, with Gutter being shot down on the 13th of May 2021, nearly exactly 1 month after the murder of crew on the 13th of April. Gutter would be caught on the 700 block of 79th Street, this location being a mere 4-minute minutes walk from the intersection of 79th and Maryland, one of the main spots that Jeff and other Bloodhound members have claimed in their music videos. However, when it comes to any actual proof that Jeff or the Bloodhounds were behind this murder, the evidence seems to be slim to none, with this particular case further muddled by the fact that Hit Squad would have another, much more known member called Gutter 2, who would unfortunately also end up losing his life, in this case in 2015, allegedly by the Bloodhound affiliated set MTV 079, whose members have commonly dissed this Gutter over the years too. Another less commonly heard name in this YouTuber's list is an alleged member of the Evans mob called Black, real name Roger Lewis, who was a 33-year-old OG of his block, shot dead in a drive-by whilst driving in March 2022. The only problem with this theory is that Black's alleged killer was in fact charged already the following month in April 2022 and is now serving his sentence for the murder. Also in 2022, Jeff would end up losing someone seemingly very close to him, a man named Jamarian Loston, better known in the streets as J-Mo, who was allegedly part of the 06679 Alliance. There are some rumors that claim that it was this murder that motivated Jeff to catch his first body as revenge, this victim getting allegedly caught outside of a corner store or gas station, as Jeff and other Bloodhounds have implied in several songs. Later on, there would also be some rumors surfacing online that Jeff was supposedly even carrying out contract killings all the way in Milwaukee.
Wait, you saying folk went all the way to Milwaukee and caught her ass? He crazy. He different, folk. I ain't gonna lie. Damn.
With one Chiracologist dropping a picture in the comments of Jeff hanging out with some alleged local gang members from Milwaukee, with this picture being from a music video of the rappers Ghost, 53206, Super Throwed Feifei, and K-Rax called Plenty Missed Calls, released in July 2023. This outfit actually being the very same one that Jeff is wearing in his music video for the song N-Words B12, released on March 2023. In fact, even now, K-Rax still seemingly has Jeff as his profile picture on Instagram, which he likely changed following Jeff's death. Jeff and the other Bloodhounds would also later make several references to doing contract killings and to Milwaukee, with JB Bin Laden rapping in the song Run But Can't Hide that also features Lil Jeff how the Bloodhounds have blood for hire, meaning that they're selling hits too. Whilst Jeff himself would also rap in the song LA Freestyle how someone tripped and got killed and how he's in Milwaukee like the NBA team, the Milwaukee Bucks. Q52 would claim in the leaked song BH4L how people know that he has bodies from state to state and that he's clapping people in Milwaukee for money. However, while some people on Reddit swear that this is a fact, there seems to be very little actual proof to back up these claims, and it appears that when it comes to the more plausible rumors, these will begin not long after the death of Z-Money in March 2023, with one of the first alleged victims of Jeff following Z-Money's murder being a young man called Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boozer Jr., who hailed from Jeff's old stomping grounds, being allegedly part of the Flipside set who repped the 93rd Street. However, Pooh was seemingly well affiliated in the East Side, with his brother allegedly being part of the 95 mob located in the Princeton Park neighborhood, while Pooh was also, according to some, allegedly affiliated with none other than Trap City, with him even having 067 in his Instagram profile name. However, there's very little to be shown about his affiliations on his social media. To the contrary, there's more to be shown about Pooh's connection with the Bloodhounds, although the reason behind these connections could be either affiliation or rivalry. Whatever the case, at the time of his death, Pooh was seemingly living far away from Flipside, Trap City, or Drill City, all the way outside of the borders of Chicago on the 1800 block of 223rd Street in the community of Salt Village.
So you telling me they came? They ain't gonna back. They coming for that ass. I ain't gonna lie.
There, on the 9th of April 2023, a few weeks after the death of Z-Money, police would respond to reports of shots fired and find an unresponsive Pooh laying on the front lawn of his home with multiple gunshot wounds, and his death would soon be ruled a homicide. Unfortunately, it seems that from the beginning, the police had very little to go on to solve Pooh's murder, and they would end up reaching out to the public in the hope that they would receive some clues or witnesses might step forward, but these clues would never seemingly materialize, and this murder remains unsolved. However, in this case, there are several examples of Lil Jeff seemingly claiming responsibility for Pooh's murder. For example, on the 9th of April 2024, the French Chicago drill aficionado Squid Ape would make a tribute post to Pooh on his Instagram, which would quickly gather numerous comments of people laughing at his death, which one commenter would ask what he had done to invoke such a reaction, to which Lil Jeff himself would comment saying that Pooh had been dissing Z-Money. Then, a few days before Jeff's death, an unreleased song of him was leaked online, the song having a bar where Jeff seemingly describes Pooh's death, saying how Pooh had dissed Z-Money and now he's gone, before describing someone waiting for him to come home whilst laying in the grass outside his house. This bar seemingly describing exactly what might have taken place before Pooh's murder. On Reddit, one commenter would point out how Jeff had been hanging out with members from Flipside not long before his death, whilst guessing that this is why the song was never officially released at the time. However, on Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood, this song is indeed included with the title In Your Home. But what makes the matter even more confusing is the fact that one of Pooh's good friends from Flipside would seemingly post an earnest tribute to Jeff following his death. And to make matters even more complicated, Jeff by no means wasn't the only one dissing Pooh after his death. Only a few days before the murder of Pooh, Pooh, a young man would be killed in the community of Park Forest during an altercation at a house party. Park Forest being only a short drive away from Pooh's Sauk Village community. As it would turn out, the killed man was not just anyone, but an actual blood brother of the infamous rapper in Chicago drill, Wooski, originally from the STL EBT set. His brother, who was called Lowski, real name Ladarius Williams, allegedly belonged to a set called the E-Block, and also apparently was part of a clique called Haddyway, which, much like the Bloodhounds, allegedly consists of members from a few different sets and is named after a boy called Haddy, who was killed in 2016. This clique having been in a deadly war with JB Bin Laden's 400 East set for years. As the rumor would be, Pooh had allegedly had something to do with Lowski's death, and following Pooh's death, the members of the Haddyway would also seemingly claim to have been behind his murder. Meanwhile, following Jeff's death, Pooh's brother would rejoice on social media, laughing at how everyone who had dissed his brother had ended up getting shot themselves. However, who all these people were besides Jeff was not entirely clear, as it seems that Pooh was a known menace on the east side, as a rapper affiliated with the Mix Mob set called Lou Glocks would say in his tribute to Pooh. This being yet another example that Pooh seemingly had both many affiliations, but also many enemies on the east side. But then, coming into the summer of 2023, Jeff would allegedly catch someone that almost no one would deny being his likely victim. As mentioned earlier, the murder of Z Money would allegedly break down the decade-plus long affiliations between Trap City or Chris World and Drill City, with Jeff and his Bloodhound friends from that point onwards seemingly being consumed by their urge for a get-back for Z Money. In the song 333, which would seemingly first leak or be unofficially put out by Jeff's team some weeks before his death, the track would officially be released on the 14th of July with a music video that was filmed while Jeff was still alive. In the song, Jeff raps a bar about the Bloodhounds shooting so much on the Rhodes Avenue that their ops had to shut their trap down. This bar likely referring particularly to the Rhodes Avenue roughly between the 66th and 68th Streets, which is one of the main areas of Trap City or Chris World. Indeed, looking at sources like Chicago's Spot News.
Damn, if you don't know where Spot News from, I'm gonna tell you, folks. Spot News, I'll let you know, folks. Like, if I go clap a motherfucker down, you can tell if I'm lying, folks. If you go, look, all you gotta do is go on Spot News. They gonna tell you about every shooting that happened in Iraq on Photo Grave, folks. So if motherfucker tell you they just clap a motherfucker down, all you gotta do is go on Spot News. That's gonna let you know if they lying or not, folks.
Who follow the CPD's police radio traffic, there will be numerous times that gunshots will be reported around that area during the summer and fall of 2023. In fact, in his February 2024 song called Striker, Jeff even specifically implies that they are the reason why Trap City's hood is so often on Spot News. However, the alleged get back for Z Money would surprisingly take place far away from the hood of Trap City. On the 25th of June, at around 8:55 PM, Trap City member called Leal, real name Jaleel Goins, will be sitting in a parked rideshare car in the Little Italy neighborhood near the University of Illinois Chicago campus. This neighborhood, sometimes now called Little Italy or University Village, is these days a truly upmarket neighborhood that's experienced high levels of gentrification since its inception as the home of many of Chicago's first Italian immigrants, and the demolition of all the large public housing complexes during the 2000s. By all accounts, this is one of the safest neighborhoods in Chicago and one of the last places where one should expect to be a victim of gun violence. Nevertheless, while Leal was sitting in his rideshare car on the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, someone would approach the car on foot and open fire through the rear passenger window.
Damn.
Car numerous times before running away. The rideshare driver would immediately take off and drive the seriously wounded Leal to the nearest hospital, which was less than a mile away, but by that time it would already be too late and Leal would be pronounced dead upon arriving at the hospital. The local ABC 7 News would be at the scene later that night and the next morning, interviewing the locals who had witnessed the shooting, with one of them explaining how the police may have counted 8 shots on the car window, but she claimed to have heard more than 20. This perhaps said something about the type of gun that was used in the shooting.
Well, as you know, these are very busy sidewalks. Here in Little Italy, you often have people walking to restaurants, bars, and stores, and last night was no different. Unfortunately, a young man lost his life, and a young man who is very well connected to an organization that many people in Chicago and across the country are familiar with, Project Hood. This evening, a statement from the founder about condolences and their recommitment to the work they do.
Chicago police investigating a fatal shooting yesterday evening. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was pronounced dead at Rush University Medical Center, but police and nearby residents tell us the incident began in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, where Goins was a passenger in a rideshare and was shot. Then the rideshare driver drove Goins to the hospital.
I knew it was shots, and like I said, I was in my bedroom, and I kind of ran like on the side of my bedroom, on the other side of the wall, because, you know, bullets don't have eyes.
I thought that was it.
This woman was outside to meet someone. She tells me she was looking down at her phone, then heard the shots. She thought she had been shot, but she had not.
I'm down there on the ground crying and shaking and stuff.
Damn, that's crazy, folks. So this what be going on, folks. And all you little shorties be sliding and shit, folks. Be people like this, folks. Scared as hell. They don't know what's going on. Tweaking. This lady talking about she shaking, folks. Laying on the ground thinking she hit. Come on, man.
They said it was like 8 shots. No, I believe it was more
She say 20. They talking about 8. It was more than 20. Come on, man.
than 20.
Pastor Corey Brooks confirms Goins was the son of an employee at Project Hood, releasing a statement saying in part, "Today, we are not just an organization. We are a family mourning the loss of a young life taken far too soon."
I'm still processing it because I'm still shaking. It's scary.
All right, that's it, y'all. Like for part 2, man. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man, on Full on Grade. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. For real, bro. Like, comment, and subscribe. Fuck. Turn the bell notification on, too.